Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 932. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
Another jam-packed week of Doctor Who news, which is quite madness. It's so much so that we don't know how to order things sometimes. Do you group it by relevance to the story or releases of the story that are to come? It's a very confusing thing. So bear with us as we rattle through a whole bunch of news this week. We're 2 weeks out from actual new Doctor Who episodes. At which point maybe some of this news will stop, but that's fine. It's fine. It's good to have stuff to talk about, right? Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I thought that was rhetorical.
No, it's never rhetorical. Warren, every single question I ask on this show is not rhetorical.
Okay, sure.
Especially the ones that are.
Especially the ones that are. First off, though, so three things before we get underway with the rest of our show. First off, so last week, we quoted our friend Jake, who made some amazing replicas of the Metebelis 3 crystal as seen in the Tales of the TARDIS with Joe Grant, and Jake thought that he spotted his version of the prop, and so we quoted him verbatim, but he's wrong. Jake is wrong because
unfortunately,
shortly after our episode dropped, we got an email from Michael Van Kesteren, who was only the art director for props for the first 2 seasons of Doctor Who, and works for a lot of Bad Wolf stuff right now, like he did his Dark Materials, for instance, and all that. And he says, sorry, fellas, we replicated a whole bunch of old-timey props from the classic era, including the Metebelis crystals. That one's ours. So there we go. That is from the actual source who made the prop for that. Not a fan prop. We no longer have screen-accurate replicas of props.
Well, we never did. So,
well, I suppose not. Although I suppose every single person probably has a 10-pound note with David Tennant on it and a 20-pound with Phil Collinson or whatever it is that they used in The Runaway Bride. But because
that's in the British Museum, if you're wondering.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was. There's a big money exhibition or whatever in one part of the British Museum. At least when I was there 10 years ago. But the Tennant £10 note was there, as one of the little things.
Wow, it's everywhere. I remember we bought some at Derby and to see Michael Pickwick. They were there. You could just buy these. Oh, they're giving them away basically. We have so many of them, and I don't know where they are now. We've misplaced our screen accurate replicas of David Tennant 10-pound notes. I have no idea where they're. Probably in a book somewhere, because we thought, well, we'll keep it safe in here and then we'll never lose it. And well, we lost it. But so there we go. So Metebelis, that's the Metebelis mea culpa is what I put in the news list to remind myself to talk about this. Second thing to talk about and debunk. We're not only talking about news here, we're talking about debunking wrong news. I'm not going to use I'm not going to use the fake news. There we are. I said it. But so earlier this week, the Paul McGann thing came up in the Mirror. That they're working on or planning a spin-off series for Paul McGann's Doctor. This has been basically, I want to say in the rumor mill since 1997. I want to say
about that. Yeah.
Anyway, the Mirror picked up on a new version of it. But truth be told, the Mirror sometimes.
Not sometimes, most of the time, they have a great track record.
Yeah, they have a good track record. They don't usually go. Well, in this instance, it's wrong because I contacted our friend Ken Deep, who runs Long Island 2 and has been friends with Paul McGann for years because he's often been there and stuff like this. And Ken sent the link to him, and Paul says, "Amazing. Shame nobody thought to mention it to me." Smiley face.
That's a great answer.
So there you go. That is also not true and wishful thinking. Sorry, everyone. Sorry. The third thing, this just happened literally before we started recording here on Saturday, November the 11th. There's an article in the Observer, which is like the Guardian, isn't it? It's basically the Guardian.
Yeah, it's like the weekend version of the Guardian, kind of. Basically, I think I could be getting that. Brits, please don't correct me because I'm probably wrong. But
that's true. About missing episodes, and they quote John Franklin, who is one of the organizers of Film is Fabulous, about something, and they mentioned like, oh yeah, and one of the episodes has Daleks in it and everything like this, and it's wrong. The article is wrong. It is the 99% of the conversation apparently was about Film is Fabulous, and they sort of plucked the 1% where they talked about Doctor Who and got all the facts wrong. So much so that I messaged Tim Burrows, who of course was in close contact with John Franklin in the organizing of that event, and he reached out to him, and Tim tweeted this earlier today, Saturday the 11th, regarding the article. I've spoken to John, and he has said that he was alluding to the same 2 episodes that Paul Vanessas has mentioned over the years, first here on Radio Free Skaro, I might add, and that he doesn't know what they are. He did not mention Daleks, and he has been misrepresented. Sorry to rain on everyone's parade. He goes on to say he also feels the tone is completely off, and when he has been quoted, it's out of context. What a mess. 99% of our conversation was about Film is Fabulous. That's a quote. He regrets being involved in the article and has asked for it to be pulled. So there, debunked. All your wishes and dreams out the door. 5 minutes.
You didn't even know you had.
You didn't even know you had them. No, you thought you might have a Paul McGann miniseries and a bunch of missing episodes, and nope, not happening. So there you go. Those are from sources. Those are like 1 degree of separation from the actual source, except for the Metebelis thing, which is direct from the source. So,
yeah, weirdly enough, so he listens, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. So take that, CBR or Screen Rant or We Got This Covered.
Ugh, gross.
Warren's favorite sites.
I hate them so much.
Yeah, no,
I'm a journalist. These places offend me on a cellular level.
Yeah, well. That's okay. Trust Radio Free Skaro, your trusted voice in Doctor Who news. Is that a thing?
For apologizing about saying we assumed last week.
There we go. Yeah, that's true. Well, all right. On with the rest of the actual news on this podcast. Doctor Who, as we predicted, because the initial launch and the announcement of Doctor Who returning on November 25th, Saturday, November 25th. Did you notice that the tweet storm dropped at 6:30 p.m. in the UK? Well, because that is indeed the airing time on BBC One on Saturday, November 25th. On BBC One with Doctor Who, what's it called? Unleashed coming after. Doctor Who Unleashed, following after on BBC whatever. Yep.
56 minutes of goodness.
56 minutes of proper Doctor Who goodness. Yep. And I assume it's dropping on Disney Plus at the same time.
One would think, yeah.
You know?
We have yet to see any confirmation of that, yeah.
We haven't seen it. All it says is just it's going to, but they actually do say, because Loki was like, they said it's dropping, 6 p.m. Pacific time.
6 p.m. Pacific time, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. We're literally two weeks out. 2 weeks out from new Doctor Who, so we'll find out, I suppose.
Should we talk a little bit about our plans for the new?
Not yet. No, I've got it on my news list next week. Building up to
Stay
it.
tuned.
So, yeah, no. Kids. This week's news list is packed. Next week we've already added like 10 things to it. Just so you know.
Oh God, I haven't even looked at that one yet.
I know.
Yeah, we feared of it.
We've been adding stuff to other weeks where it's more relevant. That's how busy November 2023 is.
Yeah, just to clarify, so stuff that we've talked about, like radio programs and whatnot, just putting them back in for purposes of repetition, just as a reminder closer to the actual time.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily new stuff, but just like, hey, don't forget that this Murray Gold program is airing, or the 60 Years thing is airing, or whatever.
Because let me tell you, I've already forgotten. And,
I have definitely forgotten.
Well, there's a lot of it.
There's
so
a lot.
it's easy for whatever to get lost in the mix.
Exactly. For both you and indeed for us, because that's going to be a busy week catching up on all that stuff. So, anyway, the Star Beast cast list was posted this morning on cultbox.co.uk, which I haven't reached out to any sources on this one just because it appeared in one place. But they're usually
pretty good rep,
reputable.
though.
They do. Yeah. There's people in this cast list that are in Doctor Who. I'm almost wary to mention who's in it, but it's out there. So shall we say it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, let's say your criminology paid off.
Well, yes, my criminal. I think somebody else pointed it out, but indeed, it looks like Bonnie Langford is playing Mel Bush in this episode. Well, Bernard Cribbins is listed in the cast list as well, according to this, because there was a shot of Bernard Cribbins in a wheelchair on set during the filming of the Star Beast. Remember, they shot that in May, and he sadly died 2 months later. So this will be his last performance, and so hopefully we'll see as much as we can hope for in the Star Beast. So yeah,
I mean the Mel Bush thing makes story sense because at the end of Power of the Doctor, Kate Lethbridge Stewart does say, "I may want to hire some of you." Well, it looks like she did. That's
true. And indeed, Gemma Redgrave features in this. Well, I sort of gathered that there was going to be a through line of unit because there's a lot of Kate Stewart in this, and there's I think unit soldiers are fighting in the streets and in the Star Beast, and they don't properly show up until it looks like the giggle because the Doctor runs out on the helipad there to confront the toy makers. So it makes sense. It makes sense that this is happening. I was unaware about Bonnie Langford being first off in even just the third episode, but now it feels like she's going to be in across all three. But we'll see, or at least the first and third.
First and the third, yeah.
They're keeping that second one under wraps. I tell you.
Wild Blue Yonder's got the Shroud of Secrecy still on top of it. So
yeah. I mean, they're going out of their way to be secretive about it. It's quite fascinating, actually.
Well, it's because the Rutans are coming back. I gave it away.
Warren, we had this discussion. Don't spoil the Rutans. It's just like, man. Yeah, even the Doctor Who magazine preview. I've moved away from my news list, Chris. So I don't even know if we're there in the news list yet. But it says the cast list is starring David Tennant, Catherine Tate, and then redacted. So they are being very secretive about all that's going on. So in the old Wild Blue Yonder. Anyway, there was a premiere of the Star Beast this past week at Battersea Power Station, where a Q&A was held. I think bits of that is sort of snuck out into the wide world of journalism, both proper and otherwise. So that's pretty cool. There was a great bit where Russell T. we don't have it on our show list, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head about what he was shouting down, said to some of the journalists in attendance, you probably represent papers who are publishing anti-trans stuff and like that, and says, well, enjoy your lonely little lives.
Oh dear. Wow.
Yeah, he was very pointed. There was applause after that, after his little mini tirade towards it. So that was pretty good on
Well, that's good to see.
Absolutely it is. So good stuff. Yep, Star Beast premiere happened, and we all get to see it in 2 weeks' time from now. So how about that? Anything else in the Star Beast? I feel like we've hit our end for Star Beast chatter, I think.
Well, unless they roll something out next week, yeah.
Well, for this episode. For
today,
yeah.
Thankfully, I think we have hit the end of that because we get to talk about Christmas.
We do get to talk about Christmas. So, the BBC likes to curate and carefully plan their press launches these days, and they drop the news of the Star Beast premiering on the 25th, and it's returning to Saturdays, and it's coming to Disney Plus on the same day, and everything like that. And I was wondering, I wonder what they're going to plan for Christmas. That's going to be exciting. And then Disney Plus just sort of says, "Here's what's coming for Christmas on Disney Plus," and they put a big old sheet of all the titles coming, and it's just there. Doctor Who Christmas Special, The Church on Ruby Road, dropping December 25th on Disney Plus.
Christmas I don't know, Santa Paws. I'm going to watch me some Santa Paws.
Santa Paws.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
30 30th anniversary of Cool Runnings, apparently.
Oh, really? Oh, that's exciting. Well, is that the same day or is that just over the holiday period? Because
I think it's just probably sitting on. It's a Disney owned to begin with, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was.
yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I do want to. I don't read spoilers or set reports willingly anyway. But somebody posted. I think that somebody posted like in Reddit back in May that the title of the Christmas special was going to be The Church on Ruby Road. So
wow,
yeah,
okay.
and then they put in some title. Actually, somebody else posted something that Russell T Davies said back in 2015. Which sounds very much like the plot that the person in that same Reddit post sort of summed up. So I'm not going to repeat it now because that might be spoilery, but it's fascinating.
I saved a screenshot of those alleged Series 14 titles.
Oh yeah,
but I forgot to look to see if Church on Ruby Road was on the list or not.
Oh,
it's on the other computer. I'll have to have a look. I have to have a look afterward.
The other computer. If only there was some way to talk to other computers and.
Fine.
That'll never happen.
I'll do screen sharing.
Oh, I know. I'm intrigued because I only say that because I feel like I have that list on somewhere on my computer here too, which I'm desperately trying to look through. And I will tell you, I don't see them. So I don't know what I did with them. I see them. I found them.
Oh, you got them? Okay.
No, I don't. No, it's wrong. I saw CBR, and that's something entirely different. I thought I got them from Comic Book Resource.
It's quite the roller coaster you're taking us on here.
A little bit. All right. So there you go. So Christmas specials are officially back. Oddly enough, the BBC, because this happened the same day as the premiere of the Star Beast. So I feel like, the BBC didn't want to rush out a press release on the same day that they're premiering the first episode of their new mini season of David Tennant. So, but we haven't got one. We haven't got an actual press release. So they're just sort of letting that lie, and then they'll probably just slither out their own at some point. Go, yep, Doctor Who's coming back.
I hope they refer to that internally. Let's slither it out, shall we?
Slither like a snake. So exciting times. Christmas special officially back. We can all look forward to disrupting Christmas dinners and rushing to watch an episode of Doctor Who before we rush off to a Christmas dinner, or as I
already warned my parents that the disruption of Christmas is back, and they're like, if you can get here. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point.
True. Yeah, Warren's been thwarted, 3 Christmases in a row now? COVID, and then weather, I think it's been?
Yeah, COVID, and weather.
Yeah, well, four times a charm.
There we go.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So I've just loaded up that screenshot with the purported Series 14 episode titles, okay. Which is, when's that from here?
Where's it from?
Early August. Episode 1, Christmas special, Miracle on 15th Street.
Okay, well, we're done.
So it's already not right.
Out the door. I remember I saved those just because I wanted to see how wrong they were, or terrifyingly how right. And well, there we go. I don't think you need to read the rest. So,
well, when we get more titles, maybe I'll cross-reference again. But so far, so bad.
Okay, good work, Chris. Well done. Look at this. We are here as your trusted news source, dear listeners on Radio Free Skaro. Anyway, did you hear they're colorizing the Daleks? 75-minute version of it. We're going to have something about that next week. But the colorized version of the Daleks is going to be airing 7:30 p.m. on November 23rd on BBC4. So it will just outside of the watershed. Lucky, because that part 7 gets a little blue, if you know what I mean. So that's when that's going to air. And also, we might as well mention this now. Is that both Chris and I were flabbergasted by this, and we shouldn't have been. We shouldn't have been flabbergasted. It's coming to Blu-ray. It's coming to Blu-ray on
why wouldn't it?
On February 12th, 2024.
Well, that's just it. Why wouldn't it? And both Stephen and I were like, well, yeah, okay, fine. So it'll be on BBC4, it'll hit iPlayer or whatever, but I wasn't thinking for a second that there'd be a Blu-ray release, but of course there will be.
Well,
why not?
We say that, but Tales of the TARDIS currently on iPlayer only. A lot of other stuff currently on iPlayer. It's become to feel a little bit like, hey, happy 60th anniversary, Doctor Who, for the UK only. Yeah. So
that's just rights things, though, and licensing and whatever.
I suppose, yeah. I suppose so. Yeah. I wonder if those Tales of the TARDIS will ever make their way to a Blu-ray or something like that. Like it'd be a neat way to, or maybe a DVD, because it's kind of a neat way to just say.
I can't see why not. Like as a bonus thing, Yeah.
Yeah, because it has the omnibus versions of the episodes, and then they're good ways to sort of say, hey, look at this. Why don't you watch Earthshock? It's all in one go. You don't have to sit through separate episodes,
Yeah, and I mean, how many times has Earthshock been released or whatever as well over the years? But
True.
Not that really matters, I know, but...
More shot us, please.
Yeah.
But I would like for them to, like, release the bookends on the Tennant Specials Blu-ray set, but like you kind of say, like, would they actually release just that stuff, or would they include it with Time Meddler and
the episodes
Earthshock and
around them,
whatever?
Because that's a whole other bit of rights clearances. I mean, Russell T Davies did say that this is paid for by the license fees, so this is iPlayer only for now. So
and
the DVD and the Blu-rays are coming out like what, next month or something like that, like December. So I don't think they're gonna be on there.
But I mean, if BBC Studios can monetize that stuff, then why not?
They'll just come out with a separate Blu-ray with nothing but the TARDIS stuff. No actual bridging episode inside it.
Yep. That would be ridiculous, Warren.
Oh yeah, of course it would.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they actually they don't just fade to black and then up comes the episode. They actually move into the monitor and the aspect ratio changes from 16:9 to 4:3 or, so it's not... Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
I was just going to say, I love that in the actual set design, they have cathode ray tubes for that very reason.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if we had watched these, which obviously we haven't because we aren't...
no, that'd be wrong.
We're not in the UK, nor do we pay the BBC license fee. So yeah. Anyway, that's the UK. We've looked on the North American side of things for the Daleks in color, and nothing yet. So once again, UK, you've got one up on us. So you're several up actually. We don't even have the season 20 Blu-ray set. It's coming in April. It's available for pre-order though. In the US on Amazon. I pre-ordered it on the BBC shop. It's out there. It's been out there for a while. So lucky you. But I did think about how the UK gets a whole bunch of stuff, and rightly so. It's a British show. But imagine if Disney Plus dropped let's say the Wild Blue Yonder is airing at 6:35 in the UK, and Disney Plus drops it at 6:30, and it's just there will be a revolt in the streets of Lancaster in England. They're just going to be so upset. How dare you drop our precious British institution 5 minutes early? That's not even a Lancaster.
I like how there's one guy in England, and this is that guy.
It's that guy. He's angry. You know him. You know that guy. Everyone knows that guy. He's angry at everything. Especially if Disney Plus was to drop a Doctor Who episode 5 minutes earlier than the BBC. He's so irate. Or an hour. Can you imagine if they dropped it at midnight or something? Oh, they'd be so upset. They'd be terribly upset. A civil war would break. That'd be another Brexit just to protest.
You hinting at the universe to do this?
Yeah.
Just poking around other stuff just to kind of put this kind of back on track, but not really.
No.
Apparently RTD after the Star Beast premiere made mention that Daleks and Cybermen will not be back in season 14.
That's true.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah. Give them a rest. I like that. I mean, they've been around a lot. Let's face it. I mean, Power of the Doctor, they were both in there for a little bit. And, right. These days it seems like they're almost not even central to the core episode idea. They're cameos, and I
in that particular case, yeah. But also for a big finale episode, that makes sense. They certainly were for the Dalek episodes about the Daleks. They were definitely the main deal.
Yeah.
Cybermen, not so much. They're all over the damn place.
They kind of are. And I kind of miss having proper Cybermen episodes because they showed up in Flux a little bit, and they were in, Daleks were in a little bit of Flux, and there was, as I said, Daleks and Cybermen and Power of the, just because he can, just have all the costumes at hand doesn't mean you necessarily should just throw them into everything. It's good to sort of hold them back a little bit. So I agree.
It's also a cost cutting measure in a way, right? So
Yeah, to have like, what monsters can we get? Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Hey, I like that. I mean, this is kind of what Chibnall did in his first year too, actually, with Jodie Whittaker. So let's showcase the new Doctor, and this is kind of what RTD is doing. Let's showcase Ncuti Gatwa's new Doctor Who in his first season.
And I was watching, as I texted you guys, I was watching the series finale yesterday for Sex Education,
right?
And man, I'm looking forward to Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Sex
Result of that.
I have.
No, I haven't seen it yet. No.
Yeah, no, he turns in just. I mean, he's really good in the show anyway, but he just cranks it up for that last episode. It's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Highly advise.
All you're doing now, Chris, is reinforcing Steven's anti-Barbie jihad because there wasn't enough Ncuti Gatwa, which is the main thing everybody went to that movie for, of course.
I know.
Sure.
Yeah. It's,
and there's multiple people from Sex Education in Barbie, or vice versa, however you want to look at it.
Right. Well, they made Sex Education first, so technically I think they're culling from there to be...
Why wasn't Gillian Anderson in Barbie? Come on.
Why wasn't Gillian Anderson in Barbie?
Your 19-year-old mind, if it was mined for...
My 52-year-old mind exploded, let alone 19.
Nothing much has changed, I don't think. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have time to watch these things because this month especially, Doctor Who is a full-time job right now. Just keeping on track of all the news and stuff like that, and watching things and reading things. Doctor Who magazine 597 came out this past week, as well as the 60 Moments in Time. I haven't even had a chance to open the cover of the 60 Moments in Time stuff because so much other stuff is happening. But they have previews of both the Star Beast and then Emily Cook waffles around for 2 pages, as she admitted on Twitter, because they're not allowed to talk about anything. So she was beating around the bush when it comes to revealing details about that one. And then they do a preview of the Daleks in color. Paul Kirkley, who's been on the show before, does that with some screen grabs of the color version of the Daleks that we're going to be talking about next week. So there's some pretty cool stuff in there. There's a profile on Neil Patrick Harris, but not an interview with him. But the big thing, so they've over the course of this past few issues, they've been doing like best ofs, like you're ranking all the stories, and instead of like saying, hey, rank all 288 stories, I have no idea how many there are, in order, like, try to rank Time Monster above Time and the Ronnie or vice versa. They've basically narrowed it down to like a list of like 37 episodes or something in a row, and ranked the top ones from there. And at the top, the new champion of the Doctor Who magazine greatest episode ever poll is Heaven Sent.
I mean, it's hard to argue with that.
The odd thing is, it didn't even top the Peter Capaldi poll, which is the weird thing.
It's wrong, is what it is.
It is weird and wrong. But it finished with 35.1% of percentage of DWM readers who voted for it. The second place, a distant second, 28.7%. World Enough in Time, The Doctor Falls, the second greatest Doctor Who story, according to Doctor Who magazine readers.
I don't know if it's good, but it's not that good. But I have to say, Heaven Sent is so good that Gallifrey showing up at the end is kind of nothing compared to what you just saw.
Right? Oh, I watched, I mean, I'm almost done my pilgrimage and stuff. And God, when Heaven Sent came on, I just like, I'll just watch it. I'll just have it on in the background because I've seen it a few times. Nope. 3 minutes in, I put Starfield on pause and says, I'm watching this whole thing again because it's just brilliant. Rachel Talalay directed both those, the top 2 stories. Stephen Moffat wrote them. Moffat's all over this. Moffat wrote Blink, which is now 6th. And also Silence in the Library, Force of the Dead. So the 3 RTD era stories that are on this list, Human Nature, Family of Blood's number 7, are all written by other people. So that was intriguing, I thought.
RTD is a good writer. He can crank out some good ones.
Yeah, but so can other people when he's
of course, yes,
executive producer. So. Day of the Doctor's 5th. Caves of Androzani is 4th. Genesis of the Daleks is 3rd. City of Death is on there at 8. Remembrance at 9. Wow, Remembrance of the Daleks at 9. How about that? A McCoy sneaks in there. So, So there you go. That's the top 10 list. Do you have any problems with any of those?
It's Resurrection at Racer.
Resurrection. Moffat actually defends it in the write up. Yeah, in the write up, he defends Resurrection of the Daleks. Actually, he thinks it's great. But so he's on your side, Warren. Steve Moffat.
I'm just starting stuff, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure we're old enough in time. Dr. Falls should be number 2 overall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if it's top 10 in my personal ranking, but
right.
I mean, tour de force from Capaldi.
And, great moment.
Yeah,
and I'm happy to see him get recognized for those 2 slots. And then I'm not as big a fan of Genesis of the Daleks as some others are. I'm in the Graham Burke camp when it comes to that one, and I'd rather see Caves as the highest classic series show.
Is it just World Enough Time, or is it both of them together?
Both. World Enough Time. Okay, yeah. Dr. Falls.
I have gone back and watched the Missy and the Master killing each other scene numerous times. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And PCAP's speech too. Where I stand is where I fall.
Yeah.
God, it's so great.
Yeah.
I hated watching that because I knew that we only had one episode after that left. We still need. I wanted another season of Capaldi. I felt robbed. of a 4th season of Capaldi.
I think the word you're looking for is entitled.
A little bit. Well, I know. Not to say that other doctors are like, oh, thank God, I'm so glad Matt Smith's done because I'm tired of him. I'm not that, but like, I don't know, Capaldi. I just feel like I wanted more PCAP.
You're allowed to have a favorite doctor. I mean,
yeah, he's my favorite. Chris, you're going to say something there about PCAP?
I was, and then I forgot what it was. So,
well, that's okay. Moffat's all over this though. He's written what, 4?
He is.
Do we write 4, 5? 5 of them. 5 of the top 10.
So he's going to come back after RTD is done. It'll just be a continuing Ouroboros, and then Chibnall will come back.
Yeah, just cycle through.
Yeah, there's the thing with, I forget where I saw it. Twitter, maybe, I forget.
Mm-hmm.
I think, no, it was Instagram. Moffat added RTD saying, bring back the Weeping Angels or something, and RTD responded by saying, only if you write it.
Oh,
shots fired. Shots.
Yeah, challenge thrown. Oh, I'm looking at I see right there. Bring back Sally Sparrow.
Bring back Sally Sparrow. Sorry, that's what it was.
Yeah, but because
it's something Blink related.
Yeah, but because it's Instagram, I opened it up just now, and then my feed refreshed, and it's gone forever. So Instagram.
Garbage, I think is mispronounced Instagram.
All we want is just a basic timeline on Instagram. It's never happened. It hasn't happened on Threads either. Well,
Let me tell you what happened to me on Instagram the other day. I got an ad for a luxury hotel in, wait for it, Lviv, Ukraine.
Nice.
Like, what in the name of God is happening here? What indeed?
Sadly, probably
the world has started to heal.
I guess so.
Or Instagram is insane. I think that's the one I'm going with.
I think it's probably the best. Yeah. Ncuti Gatwa, remember him? He's going to be Doctor Who in a month. He had a big old profile of him in GQ, British GQ. It's very important to call it British GQ because it's entirely separate to the rest of the thing. That man can wear absolutely anything, and indeed should wear absolutely anything.
He could wear a garbage bag and he still look damn good.
I know.
From the derelict line and
exactly, derelict, my favorite.
Yeah, he's got some, he's got like what, vest and trousers by Versace he's wearing in this. So are they leather? I mean, that's wrong, obviously, but the boots are great. Those boots are great.
He's probably wearing the worth of an expensive luxury vehicle. That's what he's wearing.
Yeah, could do.
I love looking at these things going, here's how to update your look. And it's like, pants, $3,000. I'm like, no, I think I'm sticking with this cheap ass look.
this one shot of like, I don't know, like top down to the finger wearing a skirt with boots makes me think of like a medieval knight sort of look.
Does a little bit, doesn't he?
Skirt and boots by Versace, turtleneck including gloves by Balenciaga.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that is lone territory, is what that is.
Yeah, love it all. I'm just based on his look. I feel like this is probably done a few months ago because he's got the blonde hair. Which is what he had during Barbie and during his initial launch, I think. And he's, of course, since his hair is black again. as Doctor Who, which they're shooting right now. By the way, they're shooting a Christmas special for it. Not this coming Christmas special, but the next Christmas special, I think, is what they're shooting right now, which is pretty cool. But yep, looking forward to him. Looking forward to him as the new Doctor Who. You know, he's skulking in the background with like things like the GQ thing, and you know, the very last shot of the trailer is like him just sort of like eyes closed, like he's had a really good cup of coffee or something like that. And
he's the Watcher, baby. That's what he is.
Oh, he is kind of the Watcher, isn't he? He's kind of the Watcher.
Murray Gold's got to sneak in some Watcher theme when he regenerates, just to please me and me only.
Yeah, I know. It's you know, it's sometimes I don't really appreciate the fact that sure, David Tennant's gonna be back in 2 weeks' time, but he's gonna be gone in 4 weeks' time. It's gonna be a regeneration scene in 4 weeks' time.
I thought you would appreciate that. I'm pretty sure Chris appreciates he's gonna be gone in 4 weeks' time.
So. We'll see.
Yeah. Are those 2008 rage feelings, Chris, going to come back when David Tennant appears on screen and he goes, oh yes, and he'll do that once and go, oh, here we go again.
I have a healthy fear that they will. I'm hopeful they don't, but
I think they're gonna. And I have
a fear that they will. As much as anything, even just watching Tales of the TARDIS. I mean, I'm like, I can definitely see RT wrote these, and some of the things that I don't like about his writing are there.
In the DWM interview with Tennant, he does say, yeah, okay, this is a new guy, but also some of this stuff's going to come back as well. So I would not be surprised to hear. You're going to hear LOZ. I think it's in the trailer anyway, right? So
is it in the trailer? I don't know if it is.
Maybe I just heard it because I expect it in my own head. I don't know. Like, I can't see them not doing that.
I mean, stuff like that, I expect.
He did.
I expect, and then like even Matt Smith, like, you know, Geronimo, like stuff like that. Yeah. Some of what he was saying, it got tired by the end as well.
Mm-hmm. So as the War Doctor noted.
So it's not Tennant specific by any means.
No, I think
RTD specific.
I'm trying to. I saw it on YouTube. So the Big Doctor Donathon that happened last weekend. It was at the it sort of focused on the Genesis Theater in England. I don't know where it was. But because it was a sort of kind of an official event, and at the end of it, once it was all done, they shot like a 30 or 40 second thing with David Tennant saying, "Hey, thanks for sticking with us on the Dr. Donathon at the Genesis Theater." And I was like, and I think he might have said Alonzi in that. I can't remember for sure, but I think he said it there. So because you know the kids,
it'll happen, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's his tagline. He's kind of got to do it. So
yeah, even if he's not the same doctor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe that'll be his last word.
He is, but he's not.
Maybe that was just lying. Alonzi.
Well, I mean, look at the curator. He did the same thing. Who knows? That's just basically Tom Baker being an insane person as per usual, which is what his doctor was.
Yeah.
I'll say this much that I literally never thought about until just now. Uh-huh. So we all of us collectively, through the three of us, have our particular problems with the end of time. Tennant's final story.
Yeah.
As has been maybe alluded to casually.
I think it's come up.
No. I mean, it's there. It's there in the subtext if you look for it. But yeah,
between the issues we have with the end of time and the I don't want to go and things like that. Well, here's another chance for redemption for Tennant's Doctor, even if it's the 14th and not the 10th.
Right.
So let's hope for something that's not gonna give us 13 years of anger.
I think this is explicitly not retconning, but correcting the whole Donna situation to begin with, right? So there's that, and I agree. I think they'll probably say I want to go or something like that. You know, it's somehow
it's time to go.
It's better at this than I am, so he'll come up with something clever, I think. But yeah. But I think I feel that is the case, that they will somehow, although I think he thinks End of Time is just dandy, so maybe not.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, the viewing figures and the audience appreciation.
And he's not alone. Lots of people still give us stick about not liking it. They're wrong, but they do.
Yeah, I'm going to say we're in the minority on the reception of that. But I mean, I say the same thing about Stolen Earth Journey's End as well. So
I'm less so with that, although Journey's End is a bit of a dog's breakfast. But yeah.
And Stolen Earth makes absolutely no sense.
No, it's super fun though.
I don't know. I do remember. I think I mentioned on the show before when I hit that on my pilgrimage recently. I was like, you know what? I'm liking this whole era, and then got a little too big for its britches, as they would say.
Yeah, it did a little bit.
Yeah, towards the end there. Thinking,
But as I as I threw in the news list, the Royal Television Society published a beginner's guide to Doctor Who.
I love it.
So if you're new to the show and need a little bit of a primer, then the Royal Television Society's got you covered.
I like
mean,
that.
It's fair.
Yeah.
If you look at what Doctor Who is all about, it doesn't make any damn sense unless you've been staring at it forever, like we have.
Yeah.
It is a silly premise when you get right down to it.
Very silly. I do like, who's the Doctor? What made each Doctor unique? They don't list off in order or anything like that. Who are the most iconic villains? Why does the Doctor travel a companion? What's new Who? What are the lost? I do love that the lost episodes are have their own special little byline in there because, that's as vital as anything to Doctor Who. The fact that, 10% of the episodes in Doctor Who history are you can't even watch because they don't exist. So that's cool. I like this stuff. And, apologies, dear listener, if you're brand new to Doctor Who and you came here sometimes expecting to have just unvarnished explanations about what happened in Doctor Who, whereas, we've baked in this stupid show that we adore
most of our lives,
most of our lives. So it's just second nature. It's a second language, or indeed a first language to some of us. And so it's nice to sort of have these little introductory articles to bring new people in, because that's how Doctor Who has survived for 60 years. Not even survived, it's thrived, for 60 years, bringing new people into the fold and becoming fans of the show. So I appreciate little things, even though they did spell John Pertwee wrong. But whatever.
That's just a honeypot to catch guys like you.
Yeah, I'll let that slide.
And they also, at the very, very bottom, the tags for the article are only Doctor Who, David Tennant, TARDIS, and Dalek. So it's a little thin on that front, but whatever.
So we brought
whatever. It's still good. It's still something that I'm sure there's no shortage of people out there who appreciate the effort.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. I did mention earlier that Peter Davison Season 2 Blu-ray is available for pre-order at Amazon US. It's been on BBC Shop though. If you want to prevent giving Jeff Bezos your $60 or something like that, you can order it there, as I have done. I pre-ordered it from there. So
he needs to barely go to space. Come on.
That's true. He needs to just touch space a little bit. I'm in space. Yay. Is that still on? I don't know. I figure
I don't know. I stopped paying attention.
Yeah. A few months ago, there were billionaires competing about who is almost going to go into space and then not. And I don't know. It was a weird instance of insecurity in our nation's billionaires.
It's a signal for the guillotines to get sharpened. That's what it is.
Wow. Warren Fry calls for public executions on the latest Radio Free Skaro.
I just said sharpen guillotines. I never said anything specifically about executions.
Okay.
I just said, I just very much admire the instrumentation. That's all.
Yeah.
I saw a meme recently saying that in 1977, Star Wars came out. It was also the last year that France executed somebody with a guillotine. So,
these are connected, I think.
77. Man, that is shocking.
And equally shocking, Stephen, the Amazon listing for the Peter Davison Season 2 says release date September 7th, 2023.
I'd love to see that happen. Would love to see that happen. 3 months ago. Not a thing. But you know what? Right now you can get Simon Guerrier's I'm really looking forward to this. David Whittaker in an exciting adventure with television. We talked to him, not David Whittaker, he's dead. We talked to Simon Guerrier back at Gallifrey One about this book where he was still writing it or the process of writing it, but he's done all the research. Simon Guerrier just does his research. It's great stuff. I'm looking forward to this book. It's very expensive to ship from the UK, so I'm hoping to pick it up at Gallifrey One in a couple months' time. But
where Simon will be and he can get it autographed.
Yes,
yeah, awesome.
You can sign it. This is Simon Guerrier Enjoyment Book. Thanks, Chris. Oh, that's not me. I got my name wrong. But it's available for pre-order. It's out there right now on 10 Acre Films website. Links in the show notes, radiofreescaro.com. But yeah, shipping outside of the UK is a wee bit much. So I'm hoping to pick it up in person at some other point.
There's no digital copy to buy there.
There's no digital copy. No, I'm wondering if I can finagle maybe order this because I think I've already placed an order for an Adventures in Type and Space that we talked with Graham Kibble-White, Jack Kibble-White and Stuart Manning a few weeks back about that, and that's coming from 10 Acre Films too. So I should just get a bulk shipment of books from 10 Acre Films. Just like, hey, you just throw that one in there too. Sure, I won't mind. So. Very, very, I mean, I haven't read it, but I already know it's very good and very well researched and very fun because Simon Gary is also a very fun writer. I did pre-order, what is it, Hootopia is coming out shortly, the book that he co-wrote with Una McCormack and Johnny Morris, and I got, I was aware of it and I've been looking forward to it. It says, I'm going to pre-order that on Amazon Kindle, and I did, and then my day got very busy, and then I went back and says, oh, you know what? I should pre-order that book, Hootopia. And so I wanted to iBook. I wanted to Apple Books, and I pre-ordered it there. And then I was, wait a minute. I pre-ordered it twice, didn't I? I did. So I pre-ordered it twice. We'll have two versions.
This is an insurance policy in case one giant company folds or the other. These are both companies that I think are teetering on the edge of bankruptcy.
Just waiting to collapse, and I'll be there. It's called smart. I'm betting on all the horses right now. Apple and Amazon. Can't do that with David Whitaker, but that's fine. What else is happening in this crazy news list of? We're mostly done. Revenge of the Cybermen soundtrack re-release, which is coming out on Apple Music,
November 24th.
All your plays. It's coming out like that, and What Time of the Round are coming out on the 24th. But there's a vinyl and CD release coming for Revenge of the Cybermen. On the 24th as well, same day. So, although it's coming out, you can pre-order. The estimated release date for the vinyl is going to be December 8th, but the CD will be out on November 24th. That's a Friday. I know that because the 25th is a Saturday. So that's cool. For some reason, I've always been intrigued by the Revenge of the Cybermen music, and so I'm really looking forward to this. Carrie Blyton.
I was just thinking, that was when I first started watching Doctor Who. It kind of came however long down the list that came, like, let's say a few weeks down the road.
Right.
And that was the pure test, because it is cheap looking as hell. So if anything was going to put me off, probably it would be Revenge of the Cybermen. And it didn't. So here we go. In fact, I kind of love it.
I love that, there's some bonus tracks, which is like session tapes, random organs, specimen gong, timpanis, and improvs. It's basically raw studio footage, but for an audio soundtrack.
It's Revenge of the Cybermen jazz is what it is.
It is. So thank you, Mark Ayres, for putting all of that in, because I appreciate such things. I think there's the one for the Prisoner music has all the outtakes and flubs and different takes as well for all the Prisoner soundtrack too, which is quite fascinating. So I dig that sort of stuff. So well done, Mark Ayres, for curating all this. He's really very talented, don't you know? And so I'll get the digital version. I won't get the physical version, but looking forward to that. And of course, Time in the Ronnie too. Okay, some stuff that's coming down the pipe here. Doctor Who 60 Years of Friends and Foes coming to BBC Radio on the 24th, the same day. You could be listening to Revenge of the Cybermen music as you're listening to this, perhaps. It's a BBC Radio 4 documentary hosted by Sue Perkins.
Do you guys actually know Sue Perkins?
Sue Perkins was one of the hosts of British Bake Off for the first few years, right?
Yeah, she was.
With Mel, what's
some
her
other
name?
stuff too, but I can't remember what.
She's done lots of stuff. She's an amazing person. But yes, when I saw Sue Perkins, I did a little squee. So I'm a big fan.
Oh, really?
Was she the one who did that? Like they go back into historical meals and eat them? Or is that somebody else I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
It's a pretty good show, but I don't remember if it's Sue Perkins or not. Her and somebody else would go and like actually make a medieval meal and see how it tasted. Basically,
oh, really? I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah. There's a whole segment of YouTube devoted to things like that.
Oh,
and Sue Perkins, of course, currently on the current series rather of Taskmaster, with 2 episodes left to go as we record.
That's why I barely know.
Oh, you love that. Oh, Chris loves Taskmaster. A lot of people love Taskmaster.
Taskmaster is fantastic. Anybody not watching it?
It's not my thing, though. Let me put it that way. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
Try it if you haven't tried it. Try it.
I hate game shows.
Is it a game show?
Yeah, I mean, yes, kind of, but
okay.
but different. Like it's not like the Chase or Family Fortunes or
Listen,
something.
I am currently playing DLC of Grand Theft Auto 4. I don't have time for game shows. I have 13-year-old video games to play.
Yeah, I got to admit, I watched the first 5 minutes of Greg Davies is in it from In-Betweeners and Husbands of River Song. There you go. There's your Doctor Who connection. And he was in it. And I will tell you, I had no idea what was going on. Not a clue what was happening.
I will give it this. It's a good employment opportunity for British actors, so I'm all for that. I keep those guys employed. But
I suppose. Yeah. Anyway, Sue Perkins. So that's coming. We'll remind you of that again. See, this is one of the links that we've also kicked down to next week when we tell you all the stuff that's going to be happening as a bit of a refresher. So, but there's going to be. I'm going to read the press blurb here from advances in technology to politics, violence, gender, and sexuality, featuring archival footage, interviews, and new conversations with Stephen Moffat. Stephen Moffat's everywhere. He's doing all the interviews now. You know,
maybe he's just being passive aggressive towards RTD.
Maybe he is. It's just when he finished being involved in Doctor Who, he was like, "Nope, all right, that's the last I'm going to talk about Doctor Who. I'm coming to Gallifrey 1 right after I come, and then that's it for me for Doctor Who." And then the 60th pops up, and he's everywhere. Andrew Cartmel, Annika Wills, Katie Manning, Janet Fielding, Nicholas Briggs is also there, along with Barnaby Edwards. So yeah, a lot of plus analysis from several academics talking about Doctor Who. I'm sure they loved that. Oh, God.
I hope Hugh Grant and whatever that Charlie Brooker Netflix thing was called shows up just as that character.
That guy. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Well, you're wrong.
Death to 2020 or something like that.
No, those are funny. I like them.
Oh, I really didn't like that. I miss Screen Wipe. Those are fun.
Oh, yeah. Screen Wipe is vast, and News Wipe, all that stuff is, and his yearly wipes. Those are vastly superior.
Yeah.
These are still good, though. These are still good Charlie Brooker shenanigans.
Yeah. Kind of. Anyway,
well, you don't like a lot of things, so let's just add that to the pot.
Yeah, I know. It's
watch Taskmaster, Stephen.
I tried. I watched, but I didn't know what's going on. They're just talking and laughing, and everyone's having fun. And going, "What are you talking about? What is this? Are you making
watch
a car?"
Subtitles. Watch it with subtitles in if you can't understand them.
It's not the language; it's the context.
I didn't mean
to
pile on you here, Stephen. I really didn't.
I know. Listen, I've got 3 episodes left in my pilgrimage, and then I might finally dive into Quiller. So this. Yeah, Quiller.
So in about 50 years, you might get to now.
I might get to I won't get to Taskmaster. I'm not going to watch it. It's 18 seasons of it too. Oh, you're going to watch 16.
I don't think the continuity matters. pretty sure you don't need to know about the lost episodes of the 60s era of Taskmaster.
Yeah. Plus, you can sit down and watch the American one or the Swedish one or the Portuguese one.
I would not watch non-British ones. Come on, let's face it.
I have seen the Swedish one because I have a couple friends who are one of whom is Swedish extraction who showed it to me, and it was kind of funny, but I'm not going to go out of my way to see it. So.
No.
The Australian and New Zealand ones are also quite good.
Yeah, but and this is vital to my getting to watch the show, which I probably won't. There would be no Doctor Who people in those, so what's the point?
Greg Davis is in every episode.
Even the New Zealand one?
No,
exactly.
No.
That's what I mean. So the British one, there would be more of a chance of someone who was in Doctor Who to be in this, so that I could say, I recognize that person from an episode of Doctor Who from 2008. And then I can pat myself on the back as a good little.
I love what your
TV
qualifier
viewer.
is. Does this show conform to my OCD?
Yes.
No? Well, then to hell with it.
Well, that's what, Warren. It's a good way to sort of limit things when there's way too much stuff to watch.
Fair enough. Yes.
Yes. Narrow it down.
True.
Yeah.
Well, in the first series of Taskmaster, you've got Frank Skinner, who was in Doctor Who.
Skinner.
right out of the gate, you got 2 people.
At least one time, Radio Free Skaro listener Frank Skinner, because he mentioned it in Doctor Who magazine when he was getting cast in the Orient Express. So there we go.
Yes,
well,
you've also got Lee Mack and Ardell O'Hanlon and Aisling B and Doc Brown, and so there's lots of Doctor Who crossover. So
recognize all those names. I didn't. Doc Brown? I don't remember that one. Who's that?
He goes by a different name for Doctor Who. He was in Saranga Conundrum.
Oh, was he? Oh, which one is he? Not Roy Kent. What's his name? Why can't I ever remember his name? Who plays Roy Kent on the Ted Lasso show?
Brett Goldstein.
Oh,
Brett Goldstein. No.
Okay.
Doc
Brown. No, it's gonna
I am. Ben Bailey Smith.
Ben Bailey Smith. He was in Andor. That's what he was. the guy that got shoved off the job for what's her name to go track down that guy, and that show that I'd like to watch again because I think I misjudged it. But anyway, that's not Doctor Who. Let's talk about some Doctor Who again. How about Doctor Who? There, BBC Sounds has a collection of 15 items called Doctor Who Through Time, various different documentaries, past and present. Some of it is new, some of it is not, but a whole host of things to listen to on BBC Sounds, including an evening with Peter Capaldi. I'm not sure I knew about that. Joe Wiley in an evening with Peter Capaldi. Joe Wiley spends an evening with the Doctor as he selects some of his favorite tracks, so that's pretty cool. And Mandip Gill hosts it from top to tail and stuff. There's also that Catherine Tate interviews David Tennant from that Chain Reaction thing.
Mm-hmm. I remember that from back in the day.
Yeah, that's on there too. So nice collection of new and archive stuff. So there's also Tom Baker on his new role as the Doctor in 1974. Not that we would be allowed to watch it, of course, but the talking Doctor Who thing that David Tennant hosted, that's on iPlayer right now, has a bunch of clips from interviews from the past and stuff. And I've seen it on the Revenge of the Cybermen disc before, but that first interview where they're interviewing Tom Baker on location shooting Revenge of the Cybermen, as we mentioned previously, like in December of 74, so he hasn't even been seen by the public yet in Robot, but he's batty. He's just instantly Tom Baker, and just like, oh God, he's such an eccentric,
and has never not been since.
He's never not. Oh, I just love watching that guy talk, especially in old clips, because he's Tom Baker, man. He's Tom Baker. It's great. Big Finish short trips 2023 competition winner for the Paul Spragg Memorial Short Trips opportunity has been announced. This year, the judges chose the Hoxteth Time Capsule, Sixth Doctor adventure written by Paul Davis and read by Colin Baker, Doctor Who number 6 himself. How about that? So that's pretty cool. Good for them. Also, hey, there's a BFI Missing Believed Wipe event coming December 3rd. Tickets went on sale November 9th. I can only assume they're sold out because they'll sell it pretty quickly. But it's the annual thing that BFI puts on, including recent TV rediscoveries featuring a fascinating lost comedy. Lance at Large or something like that. I'm just reading through here, but there's some stuff that has been found and they're going to show off here. Maybe there'll be some Doctor Who,
or not.
No,
who knows?
Probably not, but there might be. Hey, wasn't it this event in 2011 where they dramatically unveiled Galaxy 4, was it? Or was it Underwater? I know they showed both, but one of them was a complete surprise to everyone. They thought, they knew they were going to go watch Underwater Menace, and then they also threw in Galaxy 4 or vice versa. I can't remember, but
it rings a bell, but I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, if there is Doctor Who before the 60th anniversary, would be the time to do it. So, it could be. But
isn't there enough happening in the damn?
I suppose. Yeah. It
might get buried. I mean, this sort of starts the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. Carries on into December. Why overshadow new episodes of Doctor Who when you can announce old ones? This is just
this is BFI's call. They might have their own reasons for doing this. So
that's true. That's true too. So anyway, that happens December 3rd, Sunday, December 3rd. So there you go. Hey, you got enough of the 14th Doctor yet? Well, you could get more because Build-A-Bear, there's a Build-A-Bear Doctor Who Diamond Anniversary Bear Bundle with the 14th Doctor. Yeah, he's got his new little sonic screwdriver, and he's got the 60th anniversary logo on his little paw there, and he's got his coat and his glasses and stuff. Kind of looks like a Harry Potter student, I have to admit.
How dare you?
Sitting down there. I have my 13th Doctor. I have my Peter Capaldi guitar Build-A-Bear. That's probably enough for me. But
so which outfit will the Ncuti Build-A-Bear have?
Oh, it's a very good question. Well, what about the action dollies? There's got to, honestly, character options has to put literally.
What about the action dollies?
A whole set, like 6 Ncuti Gatwa figures, each one
I agree.
in a different costume. Agree. And even that will cover. That'll be season 1. Season 1 Ncuti Gatwa box set. Here's your 6 costumes.
With replaceable heads, so you can have the big afro one and get the hat one where he's got that jaunty hat.
Mix and match. Like a Barbie doll or a Ken doll, because he's Ken. Anyway, Build-A-Bear. They're not cheap, of course, but they're Build-A-Bears, and you want one. So get it. Get it now. Get it in the UK. I don't know if these are available in North America yet, but you can get them. Okay, a couple more things before we get the hell out of here. There's a Red Dwarf prequel in the works.
Is there, though?
Well, Rob Grant, one of the co-creators, announced this at a BFI event on comedy and time travel, which is funny because are there a lot of comedy time travel shows out there? I don't know, but he announced that this is sort of in the. How do you do that? How do you do a prequel when
This smells to me of, that there's a whole set of articles in those lesser, we got this covered type rags where it's like, actor thinks he'd be great to go back to whatever, and it becomes a whole thing. This is probably not that bad, but it feels like it's in that neighborhood somewhere. Yeah, he's pondering doing a thing. Okay, and...
I don't know. Well, there wasn't a long ongoing dispute between Rob Grant and Doug Naylor for decades. But that's been solved apparently. Now they can both make their own versions of Red Dwarf. I'd prefer it if they got together and made it together because it was better when they worked together, just saying.
It was. But Naylor also talks about the potential for more new Red Dwarf, saying there's, quote, real interest.
I mean, the fact that they've come back, 3-4 seasons on...
Yeah, the new seasons weren't bad. Like, they went back to their comedy roots, which they should have done in the first place.
Some were hit, like Back to Earth, I'm still not a fan of, but I mean, there's some hit and miss content for sure. But it's also been 35 years since the first episode, and I mean, I appreciate their efforts to keep it going or whatever, but it's tougher and tougher to take every new iteration when they're just looking that much older and they're that much less active. And
except Danny John Jules, who will never age. He might be a vampire, actually.
Yeah, that's possible. Or Robert Llewellyn under the mask. You don't see any differences. But
right,
yeah,
people age, so I'm told. Also, so there's a Chris put this in here because it's linked to Doctor Who somehow. But the RSC, is it the Royal Shakespeare Company? Is that who's doing it? Mm-hmm. They're doing a Christmas show of The Box of Delights, that night the retelling of that 1985 BBC TV series, which had tremendous special effects for its time, and of course starred Patrick Troughton in the title role as the Box of Delights. I've never seen it. I'm just assuming he's the box. I admit, I have it somewhere. I've watched the first 5 minutes and I thought, okay, this is kind of for children and it's for Christmas and it's like July, so I didn't watch any further past that. But it had Patrick Troughton in it, and most importantly, Warren, it was shot on an OB videotape. So,
I was going to ask, because I have this vague recollection of some Christmas British thing that I think was this on CBC, but I swear it was shot on film, so it's got to be something else.
Yeah, maybe, because this is totally OB videotape, so which instantly, of course, whoa, stop everything, folks. We got some OB videotape.
Instant quality.
It looks slightly
Several
cheaper.
decades of American sitcoms be damned.
It looks cheaper, so I kind of want to see this.
He's already aroused.
So maybe Christmas, maybe around Christmas time, I'll throw these 6 episodes in, since I can't make it to the West Midlands.
It ticks several of your boxes, so
and,
just a little bit.
And as you pointed out, your pilgrimage will be done.
It'll be done.
You need something to fill your time.
You're gonna watch Torchwood again or something.
No, I'm done with Doctor Who.
All meat, all the time.
I'm not watching.
Done with come on.
Well, for 3 months. I'm not.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I know. Well, I mean, pilgrimage Doctor Who. I'll be back again. Don't you worry. All right. That's. I'll tell you what. Just some quick little mentions. Though I've been on podcasts this past week. Pull to Open. I'm on the most recent episode of Pull to Open. Chris, you were on a recent episode as well.
You got a better story than I did.
You got what? Time Flight is what you got?
I did. I got Time Flight. You got Human Nature, Family of Blood.
I did.
But I saw that
story, yeah.
2 minutes before we hit record, I saw them post on Facebook that the episode is out. So it's out there now.
It's out there now. Yeah, I was out this morning, so it was fun. I had fun talking about that. So that's out there now. Also, I think out there right now, I did a weekend quiz show for Strangers in Space, J.R. Southall's podcast, with a panel of people. John Dorney was there, Matt Barber was there, and then Peter Harness was there. But Peter Harness cheated because over at his house at the time was Rob Shearman, Emily Cook, and Lindsay Alford, one time script editor of Doctor Who. So they were a gestalt of 4 people answering these questions. It was an unfair advantage. And so No spoilers, but I'm displeased with the results, and I will be challenging them.
You're writing your MP.
A little, yes, I will be.
You're British
MP.
MP.
Prime Minister.
Yeah. And lastly, this past week, Kyle and I recorded the last batch of the memory cheats. We waited until like literally the last possible moment, the day before that the third last episode went out. So we're building up to the end. The final episode of Series 4 of the memory cheats is on November 23rd. How about that? It's like we planned it. Like we planned it to come out on Thursday, November 23rd. So.
Because you did.
We did a little bit. So, because if anything, podcast is about planning, folks. So plan to be here next week, where we're going to talk to Benjamin Cook, Rich Tipple, and Kieran Hyman about the colorization of the Daleks, as well as a whole rundown of everything you need to know and watch and listen to leading up to the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. That's all coming next. It might be another 2-hour long episode next week. I make no promises. Given how things have been going these past few weeks. But it's all about Doctor Who. It's all about the 60th anniversary. And you can hear it all here on your trusted source for Doctor Who news, Radio Free Skaro.
We got it covered.
We got it covered, Warren. So until next time, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in disgust.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro. Subscribe to us on iTunes and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.